It's been a long time coming, but Path of Exile 2's early access release is right around the corner, and I cannot express just how excited Talkative Try is for all of us to finally get our hands on this game. Okay, I'm a little bit excited too. There are going to be completely new builds to discover, new items to mess around with, a new story campaign to explore, new classes to try out, new couch co-op to play with a friend or foe, and of course the shiny new graphics. I'm even finally upgrading to a 1440p monitor for this. It's all going to be a freaking blast to play, and I cannot wait. By the way, we've got a chill small Discord community where we talk about PoE and other games. Come say hi, we don't bite. With that said, here's how I plan to play Path of Exile 2 at launch, and maybe I can sway some of you meta slaves, you know who you are, to join me in the fun. Obviously, it goes without saying, you should play however you want to, since the goal here is just to have fun killing hordes of enemies, but yeah, sometimes we can get carried away in the hunt for GG items and kind of forget to have fun along the way. First things first, I want to go in as blind as possible. That means no build guides, no tips and tricks videos, and no watching streamers that are taking on Uberzana on day one. Naturally, this channel is an exception to the rule. When I got to play the game for the very first time way back in April, nobody knew anything about it. We had no idea which class was going to be the strongest, no idea if going Lightning Ranger would out DPS the poison build, and no clue what the bosses were capable of. It was all trial and error, and oh my god, it was fun! I really want to encourage you to embrace that. Don't be afraid to fail, I know that I will. Now I recognize that at this point, a lot of Act 1 and even Act 2 footage has been floating around, some of it even uploaded by yours truly. So you've likely been spoiled on some of the coolest stuff, but guys, there's gonna be so much that we haven't seen yet, especially if you haven't been keeping up with all of the trailers and interviews like me. Like, Act 3 is a complete mystery to me, I know nothing about it, and I know Acts 4 through 6 are gonna be coming into the game later, unless plans over at GGG have changed, and then there's the whole endgame stuff which I'm sure is going to be meaty enough to keep us busy. There is a lot to experience. Going in blind will just extend that really fun discovery phase for you that unfortunately most releases fail to deliver on nowadays, since YouTube is completely saturated with guide content days before the games actually come out for people like you and me. This is one of those trends that I absolutely hate, and it's not because I'm not being included, it's because I genuinely think that part of the fun of playing a new game is figuring things out for yourself. Do yourself a favor and stay away from all of this, I know I will. So yeah, go in blind, trust yourself to make your own build, and have a good time exploring at your own pace. And if you're not having fun, try another class with a different set of skills. Be willing to try things out, that is how you will learn. And while PoE 1 does have a bit of reputation for having a, how should I call it, shit tutorial, I'm pretty confident that Path of Exile 2 is not going to be making that same mistake. So that's thing number one. Another thing that I'm going to be doing that I haven't been doing in old school PoE much these days is play with friends. I know, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Let's face it, I think it's fair to say that most of us play PoE as a more solo experience, despite it having a gigantic multiplayer component to it. The trade economy, the boss carry services, the trade economy... These are unfortunately the parts of the game where we tend to somewhat interact with other players, not the actual moment-to-moment gameplay, which is kind of weird. I think PoE 2 is really trying to fix this. Combat is much more combo focused when it comes to the actual action combat part of the action RPG. You don't just spam and run off to the next screen immediately, you spam with intent and dodge roll out of the way of incoming attacks. Bosses have mechanics and huge health bars, and you'll have plenty of time to actually experience them with other players. Like, the game just looks like it was actually designed with multiplayer in mind, and how it could be a lot of fun to just slap 2 or more builds together and push your way through Rayclass as a group. And honestly, there's never been a better time in Path of Exile's history to try and convince a friend to give the game a shot. If, however, you just can't seem to find anyone to play with, don't be afraid to talk to people in-game and make friends that way. Most people are actually really nice once you start chatting them up. Personally, I plan on playing with my friends, maybe even some people in the guild, hit me up on Discord if you want to join, and most definitely some couch co-op with my gamer girlfriend. Let me know if you want to see some highlights of how that goes. With just those two things, going in blind and being open to playing with friends, I think you're setting yourself up for a very fun time. How do you plan on going into this new release on December 6th? Let me know down below and I'll see you guys in Rayclast. We are so close. You look so happy.